Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Coach JC. Everyone gather around, should be a good one today. Today's topic is I'm not like the other guys, one of the biggest lies to known to man. Anytime you speak with a man, he's always saying, hey, I'm not like the other guys you dated in the past. Um, a lot of it just be nonsense because a lot of times he be like those other guys or he be worse. And the thing about Thinking about what's gonna separate you from the pack is just being authentically yourself. A lot of times as men, we want to put on a facade, you want to put on this mask, like, oh, I'm this guy, that guy. The reality is, when you first meet a woman, that's your first impression. You know, you gotta be on point, you gotta be on target, you gotta be upfront, honest about what your intentions, who you are, what your situation is all about, and just keep it a buck with her. You know, you don't need to lie to her. You ain't gotta lie or be mischievous to her. Tell her what you want to hear, gaslight her up. Nah, you ain't gotta do all that. You gotta be honest and transparent with her. You know, and own up to your situation. You know, you a grown man. You may still with your mom. You may not have your finances in order. Um, you might have different kids with different moms. You know, just be on up to it. You know, that's your truth. That's your story. You know, it can change. You know, but currently at this moment, this is where you're at right now, and you know, you want her to be authentically herself too. So when she shows up to you, she's herself, she's whole, and she's pure. So that being said, you know, going to the lesson time as far as, you know, my wife, you know, like I said, I met her at Waffle House almost 6 years ago. So we was, like I said, I saw her, she was sitting down with one of her friends. I really wasn't paying her no attention, you know. I'm just like, I ordered my food like I usually do. Waffle House is just, you know, a little hangout spot, you know. So she just come in there with a girlfriend. I saw my wife. I was like, you know, she was a friend, so I offered her something to drink, and not something to drink. I offered to pay for her food, you know. I offered to pay for her food. She was like, okay, I appreciate it. And then her friend was like, what about me? I was like, are you gonna pay for my meal? I was like, nah, I ain't gonna pay for your meal. I ain't stunting you. You know what I mean? So we changed numbers. We talked. Our first conversation was just, you know, it was real intense. You know, our first conversation. That's how I kind of figured she was real, but I really wasn't sure. I'm like, you know, even with women that meet a lot of guys with different bodies, you know, we do the same thing as men. We deal with different women with different bodies. So I was like, okay, you nice. You know, really educated. You know, teacher. Okay, you got a 20-something-year-old daughter. I was like, oh, okay, you was honest with the situation, you know, okay, she's in Charlotte, okay. I'm like, that's cool, but, you know, and then she, you know, we started talking, then we just started hanging out, and next thing I know, look back, now we going in almost 5-year marriage coming in September, so, you know, just stuff like that. But if I was honest, I wasn't transparent with her, I wasn't upfront with my intentions, then I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Well, I wouldn't be sitting here with her, and I definitely wouldn't have the blessing of having Olivia. So, you know, everything works itself out. Everything works within God's timing. So, you know, just stuff like that. You know, a lot of men, you know, they want to complain about why this person choose that person, but you gotta be different. You gotta be authentic. You gotta be different than the pack. You know, you gotta realize she got guys in her inboxes on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you want to call it. She got guys at workplace, guys she's been with a relationship 5 years ago, new guys she constantly meet at the gas station, at the park, in the mall. The constant guys trying to throw themselves at her. So you gotta be very unique and very different. It doesn't mean you gotta be unauthentically yourself. Cause a lot of times as men we kind of get, you know, have low self-esteem or hey, I don't measure up, that kind of stuff, that kind of self-talk, negative self-talk. But just be real, be authentic with yourself. Like, hey, you know, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. You know, okay, we either there's a spark plug or there's not. You know, attraction isn't a choice. So you gotta really just own your truth, understand that hey, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You know, it may go on a few days, it may go south, it may not, she may not call you again, you may not call her again, but hey, that's it. You know, end of the day, put your best card out there, and the one that's for you is gonna be there for you. Now I'm a testament of that. You know, like I said, I've had days where when it went south, I didn't get a call back, or I didn't call the person back, and you know, it is what it is. Don't take that so personally. You gotta realize, you know, just the nature of the game. You know, the game that you play, your life. You know, and everybody meant for everybody. But I'm glad I found my other piece, my other half, whole, and you know, just blessed to be here and share it. You know. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. A lot of guys say, I know like the other dudes, but guess what? Y'all be 10 times worse than the dude that you met, dated, or was married to, etc. So feel free to comment below. What's your thoughts on this topic? Until next time out, Coach JC.